is a point in space where the universe simply stops. Not gradually, not fading into darkness, not stretching into infinity. It ends like a line, a boundary that shouldn't exist. At first, you don't realize what you're looking at because nothing about it makes sense. You are drifting through deep space, far beyond any familiar region. No nearby stars, no visible galaxies, just distant light, faint and scattered. Everything feels normal, empty but expected. Your instruments are stable, radiation levels consistent, signal background unchanged. The universe behaves exactly the way it always has, predictable, continuous, endless. And then something appears ahead. At first, it looks like darkness, just a region with fewer stars. That happens, void pockets, areas where matter is less dense. Nothing unusual. But as you move closer, you notice something wrong. The stars don't fade. They don't become dimmer. They simply stop. Not one by one, all at once. Like someone drew a line and erased everything beyond it. You slow down, your mind trying to process what you're seeing, because this isn't how space works. There are no edges, no borders, no sudden endings. Everything continues, everything connects. That's the fundamental rule. But here, that rule is broken. You adjust your instruments, zoom in, scan the region, trying to find an explanation. Radiation should still exist there, even if no stars are visible. Background signals should pass through. Even empty space contains something. But your readings show nothing. Not low, not weak, zero. Your breath slows, because now you understand what you're looking at. This isn't empty space. It's not a void. It's something else. A region where the universe itself doesn't exist. You look back. Behind you, endless stars, light, depth, reality. And in front of you, nothing. Not darkness, not space, just absence. And for the first time, a thought forms that doesn't feel like curiosity. It feels like warning. What happens if you cross something that isn't part of the universe at all? At first, you don't move because something about it feels wrong. Not dangerous, not threatening, just incorrect. Like your mind refuses to accept what it's seeing. You've studied space your entire life. You understand how it behaves. Expansion, gravity, radiation. Everything follows rules. Even chaos has structure. But this has none. You focus on the boundary, trying to define it, give it shape, measure it. Because if you can describe it, you can understand it. Your instruments lock onto the edge. Distance, stable. Energy, none. Radiation, 0. Your system recalculates again and again, but the result doesn't change. There is no data, not missing, non-existent. Your fingers tighten because now you realize something even worse. Your instruments aren't failing. They are working perfectly. There is simply nothing to detect. You adjust your position slightly, just a few meters, watching carefully, and that's when it happens. The edge shifts, not physically, not moving through space, but changing relative to you, as if the boundary isn't fixed, as if it's reacting. You freeze, because now you're not just observing it, it's responding to you. You test it again, another small movement, slow, controlled, and again the boundary adjusts perfectly, maintaining the same distance no matter where you move. Your breathing becomes uneven because now this isn't a location, it's not a place in space, it's something else, something that exists independently of position. You stop moving, the boundary stabilizes, still, silent, unchanging, and then you notice something you didn't expect. The stars near the edge are wrong, not distorted, not shifted, wrong. Their light doesn't behave normally. It doesn't bend. It doesn't scatter. It simply ends. Like the moment it reaches the edge, it has nowhere to go. You stare at it, trying to understand, because light doesn't stop. It travels forever, unless something blocks it, unless something absorbs it. But this does neither. It doesn't block, it doesn't absorb, it removes. The light reaches the edge, and then it's gone. Not reflected, not redirected, not even delayed, just absent. Your mind struggles to process it, because this breaks something fundamental, not just physics, reality itself. You check your surroundings again. Everything behind you still behaves normally. Signals pass. Light travels, space exists, but ahead, there is no continuation, no extension, no beyond. And that's when the realization begins to form. This isn't the edge of the universe, because an edge would still belong to something. This is something else, something that defines where the universe ends. And for the first time, you understand what that really means. If there is something that marks the end of reality, then there must be something on the other side. You try to look beyond it, not physically, not by crossing, just observing. If there is something on the other side, you should be able to detect it, even indirectly. Light, radiation, anything. So you adjust your instruments again, increase sensitivity, remove filters, push them beyond normal limits. If something exists there, even the smallest trace, you will find it. The system begins scanning, slow, precise, layer by layer, searching for anything that shouldn't be there. At first, nothing. The readings remain empty, perfectly flat. No noise, no background, no fluctuations. And that's when you feel it. Not from the instruments, from yourself. A strange resistance, like your mind is struggling to process the direction you're looking in. You focus harder, forcing your attention forward, toward the boundary, toward whatever lies beyond it. And for a brief moment, something appears. Not visually, not clearly, just an impression, a presence, something that isn't space, something that isn't empty, something that doesn't follow any structure you understand. Your breath catches because it feels wrong, not dangerous, not hostile, just incompatible, like trying to imagine a color that doesn't exist. The moment you try to define it, it disappears. Your instruments register nothing. No spike, no anomaly, no trace that anything happened at all. You replay the scan, frame by frame, looking for even the smallest deviation. But the data is clean, perfect, unchanged. Your hands tighten, because now you know what this means. It's not that there's nothing there. It's that whatever is there cannot be observed. Not because it's hidden, because observation doesn't apply to it. You try again, slower this time, more careful. You let your gaze approach the boundary, but not fully reach it. And again, that same sensation, something just outside perception, something that exists but refuses to become real. You feel your thoughts hesitate, like your mind is trying to form an image and failing. You push further, just a little more, and this time you see something. For a fraction of a second, a shape that isn't a shape, a structure that isn't built from anything, something vast but without size. Your vision collapses instantly, the image gone before it can fully form. You step back, not by choice, by instinct. You're breathing uneven now, because you understand something you were never supposed to. Whatever is beyond that boundary doesn't exist the way the universe does. It doesn't follow rules. It doesn't follow structure. It doesn't even follow the idea of being observable. And that means, if you cross that boundary, you won't just leave the universe. You will leave the system that makes existence possible. You look at the edge again, still silent, still empty, still impossible. And now, one question remains. Not what is beyond it, but something far worse. What happens to something that enters a place where reality itself no longer applies? At first, you don't realize how close you've drifted. There's no warning, no alert, no visible change. Everything behind you remains exactly the same. Stars, light, depth, reality behaving as it should. But something feels different, subtle, almost unnoticeable. Your instruments begin to hesitate, not failing, just slightly delayed. You check the data. Everything is correct, nothing is missing, but the timing is off. You adjust your position slightly, and that's when it happens. One of the stars near the boundary changes. Not its brightness, not its position, its presence. For a fraction of a second, it feels like it isn't there. Then it returns, exactly as before. You stare at it, trying to process what you saw, but the thought doesn't fully form. You look back at your instruments. The delay increases. Not random, consistent. Every system responds just a little slower, like something is interfering not with the data, but with your ability to process it. Your breathing tightens, because now you understand. It isn't affecting space, it's affecting perception. The closer you get, the harder it becomes to fully understand what you're seeing. You try to think clearly, define what is happening, but the moment you try, the idea slips, incomplete, unfinished. You move forward again, just a little, and instantly everything changes. Not visually, not physically, conceptually. The space in front of you loses something. Not detail, not structure, continuity. For a moment, you can't tell where things connect, where one point ends and another begins. Your mind struggles to map it, but there is no map, no relationship between things. You pull back instinctively. The effect weakens. Slowly, everything returns. Your thoughts stabilize. Space regains depth. Your systems respond normally again. You stop, because now you understand the truth. This is not just the edge of space. It is the edge of how reality works. On one side, everything connects. On the other, nothing needs to. And the closer you get, the more that difference begins to affect you. You tell yourself you won't go closer. What you've seen is enough. You've confirmed it exists. You've felt its effect. You understand the risk. And yet, you don't turn away. Because something about it pulls you. Not physically, something else. A need to resolve it, to understand it, even if you can't. You drift forward, slowly, carefully, staying just outside the boundary. The delay returns, stronger this time. Your systems respond slower. Your thoughts stretch. Simple ideas take longer to form, like the connections inside your mind are weakening. You focus on one star, just one. Try to define it, hold it in place. But the moment you do, something changes. You know it's there, but you can't fully understand what there means. Distance loses clarity. Position becomes uncertain. The relationship between objects begins to dissolve. You move closer, and now it begins. The space ahead stops behaving like space. There is no depth,
no direction, no sense of forward. Your mind tries to map it and fails. Your thoughts fragment. They still exist, but they don't connect. You pull back harder, force direction, force movement, and slowly reality returns. Connections reform, space regains depth. You stop, breathing uneven, because now you understand this isn't a boundary you can study. It's a boundary that changes you, and the closer you get, the less you belong to the universe behind you.
At first, it feels like you've escaped. The effects fade. Your thoughts reconnect. Your systems stabilize. Everything behaves normally again. The universe feels whole. But something doesn't return. There is still a delay. Small, subtle, but real. And that's when you realize it didn't stop affecting you. It changed you. You look at the boundary again. It hasn't moved. It hasn't changed. But now it feels different. Not distant. Connected. Not physically. Conceptually. Like part of you is already aligned with it. You try to ignore it. Focus on the stars. On normal space. But something keeps pulling your attention back. Not curiosity. Recognition. You understand something now, without knowing how. The boundary is not fixed. It adapts, not to space, to observation, to you. You test it, move slightly to the side, a different angle, and it responds, instantly, not moving, redefining itself, maintaining the same.
At first, you stop moving completely. No adjustments, no drifting, no attempt to get closer. Because now you understand something that changes everything. Distance doesn't matter here. You don't need to move toward the boundary to reach it. You only need to understand it. You focus on it again, carefully, not forcing it, not trying to define it completely, just observing. And something begins to change, not in space, in you. Your thoughts start to reorganize, not breaking, not fading, changing structure. You no longer think in straight lines, not cause and effect, not before and after. Ideas still appear, but they don't connect the same way. And somehow, that makes the boundary clearer. You can't describe it, but you understand it better. Not as an object, as a condition, a state, something that exists when reality no longer needs to be consistent. Your breathing slows, because now you feel it happening. You're getting closer, not physically, conceptually. The boundary becomes sharper in meaning. You begin to sense what lies beyond it, not as space, not as emptiness, something else, something that doesn't require position, or direction, or even structure. Your thoughts expand further. You let go of the need to connect everything. You allow ideas to remain incomplete, and because of that, they don't disappear. For the first time, you are perceiving something without needing it to make sense.
And that's when it happens. The boundary disappears, not gone, no longer separate. You don't see it anymore, because now you are aligned with it. Your chest tightens, because this isn't what you expected. You didn't cross it, you became compatible with it. And that means you are already on both sides. Part of you is still inside the universe, still connected, still defined. But another part, something new, is already outside. Not fully formed, not fully stable, but real. And for the first time, you feel something different. Not fear, something deeper. Because now, you are no longer just observing the edge of the universe. You are becoming something that no longer needs it.
There is no moment when you cross it, no step, no transition, no clear point where one state becomes another. Because crossing would require a boundary, and that boundary no longer exists for you. The universe is still there, behind you. Stars, light, structure, everything connected, everything following rules. But now it feels distant, not in space, in meaning, like something you remember but are no longer part of. Your awareness expands again, not outward, in all directions at once, without direction, without position. You don't move, you don't drift, you no longer exist in space the way you did before, and yet you are still here, not as a point, not as an object, something else, something that doesn't need coordinates. You try to look back at where you came from, at the universe, and for a moment you can still perceive it, a vast system, ordered, structured, predictable. But now it feels limited, bound by rules you no longer follow. You reach toward it, not physically, through awareness. And the moment you do, it doesn't fully connect, not pushing you away, just unable to hold you, like trying to interact with something from outside its own system. Your thoughts shift again, becoming less structured, less dependent on sequence. You don't think in steps anymore. You don't need to. Everything exists at once. Possibilities overlapping, outcomes without order, not separated, just present. And that's when you understand. The universe was never everything. It was one system, one way of existing, one set of rules. And beyond it, there is something else, something that doesn't require consistency, something that doesn't require structure, something that doesn't need to be observed to exist. You feel your last connection to the universe begin to fade, not suddenly, naturally, like something that no longer fits. Your identity loosens, not erased, expanded. You are no longer one fixed state, no longer one version. You are multiple, unresolved, uncontained, and because of that, you cannot be defined. You look one last time at the stars, at the galaxies, at everything that still exists within those rules, and for the first time, you don't feel part of it. You feel beyond it, not above, not farther away, different in nature. And as that connection disappears, one final understanding settles. The edge of the universe was never a place. It was a condition, a point where reality stops being required. And now you are part of something that doesn't need reality at all.